here and back in person, hopefully for a full season. We're excited about our group and excited about, we've got very much a veteran group. I think our team will be led by guys like Kyle Young and E.J. Liddell and Justin Arns, who are all going into their third, fourth, or fifth season in our program. That continuity is really important. We have some other veteran guys who have had really good Big Ten seasons, like Justice Sewing. I think obviously there are some questions with losing our backcourt, and how will we respond to that. But I'm really excited about some of the potential answers we have in our backcourt there. It's a fun time of the year. It's a really fun time of the year with a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement. We put together the most challenging non-conference schedule that I've ever played, and I think those will present some real decisions for us here early in the season. It'll determine a lot for us in terms of how tough we are early in the season to manage some of the challenging games we have. But I'm excited about that. I love this league. The depth of the league, as we've mentioned a number of times, is really second to none, and I think that's been established. And I think you'll see this league continue to grow in its depth, and I think it's got a really, really exciting future in terms of men's basketball. So looking forward to getting started, and I'll answer questions.
Right here.
Chris, Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch off to your left. You mentioned the fact you have a veteran team. A lot of teams have veteran teams because they get in the extra year of eligibility this year. What's the key in your mind to having a veteran team but turning that into success?
Well, health is so important, and obviously, Adam, I think that was a really critical factor for us late. We had an older group last year, but we had some of those older guys sitting next to me. And we really need to be healthy, particularly towards the end of the season. A lot of coaches are going to talk about their depth and their experience up here as they come through here because of the super seniors and the addition of transfers. A lot of teams have older teams. I think role definition and how that all gets figured out, what chemistry, we had really good chemistry last year. It doesn't mean we'll have really good chemistry this year. That'll get determined as we go through difficult things together. So we'll see. I think the value of having guys that have been through the battles of the Big Ten should provide dividends, but we certainly need those guys healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7 Sports. Looking at the two guards that you brought in, Cedric Russell, Jamari Wheeler, just your thoughts about what they've accomplished or what their assimilation has been with your program, and maybe even Joey Brunk as well from Indiana, just the new guys that you brought in from that regard.
Yeah, Steve, those guys have been good for us. Jamari's one of these kids that is an everyday guy. You want him next to you anytime you're competing and doing anything. And he's really helped us. He brings a lot of juice to practice every day. He's been really good for us. I think Joey is a guy, as you know, who came from a really good program in Indiana and had success on their team that was going to be certainly a tournament team. So Cedric's, I think, finding his way. I think anytime you kind of jump up a level, it takes you time to find your way. He's in the process of doing that. We're only 6 practices in right now.
Right over there.
Hi, Coach. Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. I think there's this negative connotation around all of the challenges that COVID presented. But now that you've had a little opportunity to kind of reflect on everything you guys went through last year, how did the 2020-2021 season make you a better coach, and how did it make your program stronger?
You know what I think it did as much as anything, Brendan, is it made you, as much as possible, be more aware of the overall health of your players, not just the physical health. So you could really see guys who were struggling with whatever it was. Just the grind of the season, not playing in front of fans, the daily testing. College kids don't always love to get up and get a test at 7:30 in the morning every day. It's just kind of not one of their favorite things. So when you do that 6 days a week, that can take a toll. It was important. I'm glad our league did it. But I think as much as anything, it made you just aware that, you know, in some cases your kids go through a lot of things that maybe you can be oblivious to. And I think we tried to be really, as a staff, in touch as much as possible with what they were going through.
Right up front.
Chris, with the changes to the transfer portal and the transfer rules and such, there's been a lot of coming and going on everyone's rosters. And what do you think was the biggest impact of that last year, and how are you going to deal with all of that coming and going forward?
Well, you know, for those of us that know, like, the transfer thing has went on for a number of years, and you know, Tom Izzo and I have had a lot of conversations, and I've probably done more listening than talking, which happens a lot of times when we have conversations. And I understand kind of the perspective on both sides of this thing, but it's certainly here to stay. And I do think what it's going to contribute to is teams that are a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. I think you'll see less programs recruit freshmen every year. I think you'll see more teams that'll wait until the spring. It does probably allow you to potentially rebuild quicker than maybe what the traditional way used to be for certain programs. So I think all those things are benefits. You know, I think we've had a lot of success both at Butler and at Ohio State with important transfers. A kid like Keyshawn Woods, who came from Wake Forest, really helped us get to the tournament and win a game in year 2. We wouldn't have done it without him. So I think those guys are important, but they also have to be the right fit for your program.
We have time for a few more questions up front.
Hi, Chris. Patrick Murphy with 247 Sports. We talked over the summer about external expectations on your program. I'm just curious, now that you've gotten together with the guys and spent time around them as practices started, how you've seen this group come together, and you know, what kind of expectations you have for handling those expectations outside the program.
Well, you know, I think you want those every year. You want to go in with a level of anticipation. You know, we've been ranked every year. We've been there our 4 years. We've been in the top 20. We've been in the top 10 2 of the years, and we've been a part of the tournament every year. We've been there, and unfortunately experienced an upset last year, but advanced the prior years. I think you just want to continue to build on that. But you know, Patrick, as you know, the focus really has to be on the day-to-day. And I think when you get outside of that, whether you're thinking individually, expectations, we have young men that are really good players that have some individual expectations. And that weight can be pretty heavy if you think about it too much. I think the challenge is really to stay in the moment, enjoy each day, and see where that takes us. I'm excited about this group, but we're not going to get outside of anything other than the day-to-day process.
Our last question from the front corner.
Chris, over here to your, I think it's your left. I don't know.
It's my left. Yeah, that is
there you
my
go.
left.
Jimmy Walker's from the Omaha World Herald. You mentioned the benefits of the transfer portal, how it's helped you guys out. What about the challenges of turnover and the lack of continuity that it brings as well?
Well, I think you're aware of that more now than ever. I don't know that it might change some of the dialogue and conversation you have throughout the season with players, with parents, with people around the young man. You know, back 10, 15 years ago, that didn't happen a whole lot. It's not going to change how you coach. It shouldn't change how you coach. But it is going to change, I think, the dialogue and the conversation that goes around on the front end and then throughout the process, just to make sure there's open lines of communication. But I think it's something that every coach who stands up here is aware that roster management is one of the greatest things and challenges facing him or her.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Coach. Good luck this season. We will now take another
Okay, thanks.
2